Today's video is sponsored by War Thunder. The movie opens on the exterior of the plane, which looks like it is from an early 2000s flight simulator game. Also, this is a normal plane, but inside they have a spiral staircase to a second floor. Who am I to believe that this is a magic airplane? The pilots discuss having a top secret special cargo containing a top level government shipment with an armed guard on board an international passenger flight, because that's how government top secrets are always carried, with a bunch of dumbass civilians. The pilots are also instructed to contact Dr. Bennett and Dr. Sebastian if there are any abnormalities in the cargo area. The pilots, not the doctors, not even the armed guard who is in the area where the mysterious cargo is being held. The movie lets us know it's the last flight before retirement for one of the pilots. What could possibly go wrong?
Possibly go wrong. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong.
The special cargo starts leaking a mist/smoke, but the guard doesn't notice and appears to be sleeping, getting some real Return of the Living Dead flashbacks here. Also, you're telling me they smuggled all of this on board without anybody's knowledge? The doctors are bickering about bringing back Kelly out of stasis. Hopefully, there is no gold tier showers. Nope, it's just one of the doctor's wives. A third man states a stable environment is needed to bring her out. The doctorbs,
the B is for Bargain,
arranged this transport to switch labs so they don't get caught. All of this is an attempt to reanimate the dead for medical science, with Kelly being an unintended guinea pig due to a mishap where she got infected. All of this exposition for us, mind you, is in front of average people that are also on the plane. With how top secret it is, you sure don't want secret zombie virus to be yelled out loud in an airplane cabin. Two men are also handcuffed together in the passenger area. What is this, kinks on a plane? Apparently, this was the only way of taking this prisoner to France for extradition. Peter and his buddy Tony choose to be douchebags and play a game of catch across the plane. This plane has a lot of space and not many passengers. I can't wait for zombies to spawn out of nowhere. The plane encounters a horrible storm, resulting in heavy turbulence, which causes the straps on the cargo to bust. The cargo crates fall and crush the legs of the armed guard, pinning him in place, causing the Kelly cargo to do an unboxing. If this was so top secret and deadly, why was it secured so poorly? Suddenly, we are at the Pentagon where a meeting is being held about the doctors on the plane. They apparently used mosquito DNA that contained a malaria strain with a 100% mortality rate. Not only that, but it kills in seconds while regenerating some of the dead victim's tissue for a short period after death. All of this to, of course, develop a mutation of the virus to resurrect people. If this disease were a thing, wouldn't the mosquitoes be at an apocalyptic level by now? It's a 100% mortality rate that reanimates people. Why did they need to put it in a person? The cargo container opens, revealing Kelly.
I'm going to get what I want.
Awakening from her cryostasis in the seconds before she felt symptoms. Apparently she got infected and they were able to throw her in a Vault 111 pod before the disease could take hold in the few second span that causes people to turn that was described. I don't think anything in cryogenics or virology allows this, but what the hell do I know? This is a freaking movie called Flight of the Living Dead, Outbreak on a plane. I don't know why they had to have that suffix. The guard apparently assumes Kelly turned into a witch from Left 4 Dead from her crying and shoots at her with an SMG, missing every shot and instead hitting panels that conveniently shut down the lights and communication systems for the airplane. Kelly screams, "I'm a scientist!"
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
And tells the guard not to shoot her. The guard says he won't shoot her before promptly shooting her. This guy apparently knows what the threat is and how the virus causes destroyed organs to regenerate upon death for a brief period. But he does not act like it. He doesn't shoot for the head or doesn't act like this person's going to come back with regenerated tissue. The guard looks away just long enough for Kelly to become a zombie and attack him with a really weird shot. Tony and Peter casually harass a flight attendant by feigning to smack her ass and calling her one hot biatch in front of their girlfriends. And there's a nun on this plane. I guess they're trying to be like Airplane. Again, barely any people and care for this flight and its passengers. Tony and Peter's girlfriend go to join the Mile High Club in the restroom. The two don't give two shits about Peter in the restroom. Having all these random ass characters being thrown in, I mean, they're just zombie fodder in this clusterfuck of a plane movie. I mean, we even have a creepy guy that jump scares one of the flight attendants by sneaking up on her. There's just a lot going on character-wise that there's no point. The flight hits even more turbulence, causing the plane to shake worse than a chihuahua in winter. Bags start flying down from the overhead compartment, hitting several passengers. Apparently nothing on this super huge aircraft that is going internationally was secured. The captain / retiring pilot sends his co-pilot to go check the cargo. Probably do not want to send half of the capable pilots on the flight to escort passengers to the cargo area. Don't you have flight attendants and other stuff for that kind of thing? Bald guy says the other two doctors need to go with the pilot to check on the cargo. Two of them know this threat is really bad, yet are willing to bring one of their pilots into harm's way. When the prisoner has to take a piss, the cop gets up and is knocked out by turbulence. It's kind of funny how it happens. No one notices the cop gushing blood out of his head or the prisoner getting out of his handcuffs to slip away. What the hell is going on with this airplane? The doctors and co-pilot enter the cargo area through ventilation shafts. Okay, Kelly literally jumps her husband's bones and starts biting him while the other doctor and co-pilot just stand there gawking at them until the doctor is attacked by the armed guard. For some reason, these two zombies growl like lions and tigers at people. This is going to be a thing throughout the movie where they just have random sounds coming out of zombies. There's no consistency. It feels like they had a whole sound library and just slapped them in there. Tony and Peter's girlfriend cheat again with jump scares and more meandering. The prisoner is hiding in a vent. You're telling me a high priority passenger that is labeled as a prisoner just magically vented? Without anyone seeing, co-pilot runs out of the cargo hold and alerts the retiring pilot captain that the scientist has something in the cargo hold and says they need to land the plane. The captain yells back at his co-pilot, who reiterates that they need to land because something inhuman is on board, but now says, it'll probably kill everyone. You might want to probably lead with that kind of information. The captain retiring pilot instructs the co-pilot to go fetch the TSA guy who is on board. What the hell would the TSA do on an active flight? The TSA guy is the creepy guy from earlier and goes to check it out. He asks Dr. Bennett what is in the cargo, but Dr. B won't tell him. They are obsessed with it being top secret. But let's not tell people who go in blindly, because what could possibly go wrong with a viral zombie? TSA guy thinks it's the missing prisoner and takes the cop to go look. They see that there is a lot of blood and that something has escaped through the vents. They decide it's a good idea to follow this into the vents. The cop encounters a zombie. TSA guy tries to help him but falls, causing his gun to go off through the floor of the plane, killing one of the flight attendants in a Final Destination-like fashion. I mean, look how this gun is even used, before managing to pull the zombie off the cop and killing it. This plane is durable as hell, so much so you'd think it was top-of-the-line military grade. Well, you can acquire 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes of the 1920s to the fighter jets of today in War Thunder. War Thunder is a wildly huge vehicle combat game, the biggest ever made, and it's available now for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Go back in history or in the front lines of modern warfare in War Thunder. From pinpoint accuracy and realistic graphics in every vehicle to detail-intensive combat where it's not just generic hitboxes with health bars above them that you whittle down like every other game. You actually can see how bullets and explosives affect the inner workings of the vehicle and how it can be disabled and destroyed, showing you even with an X-ray damage view to see the destruction firsthand. It's like the vehicles were reverse 3D printed into this game. Honestly, just seeing this in real time, the artillery hitting vehicles and doing realistic damage to it is fucking awesome to me. I'm all for hyper-focused carnage, even in vehicles from throughout history. They spared no expense at putting you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. Join up with over 70 million players in what I dub VVV, or vehicle to vehicle or PvP battles today, and delve into the brutally awesome combat of War Thunder. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile devices now by using my links in the pinned comment or video description. If you are a newbie or haven't been around in 6 months or more on PC or consoles, you will get a nice bonus when you come on to catch up in the form of a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days free of premium account access. But it won't be around forever, so make sure to claim this deal quickly or else it'll be gone in a flash. Again, check out the link in the pinned comment and description below to get started today with immersive vehicle combat unlike anything you have seen before, except in the world of War Thunder. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Z. Kelly somehow silently maneuvered through the plane's ducts to attack a flight attendant just as she was trying to warn the pilots. I mean, we have zombies despawning and respawning like they're special infected in Left 4 Dead 2's Versus mode. While Peter's girlfriend is in the bathroom, a zombie pulls a Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah!
And bursts through the mirror to attack her.
Oh no!
How the hell is this even achievable for a person, let alone a zombie? Tony and Peter burst into the bathroom to help, but see Peter's girlfriend is gone. Apparently, there is a perfectly sized hole behind the mirror that anyone can fit in. What were staff in this airplane doing up until this point? Were they looking through a two-way mirror, peeking at Mile High Club visits and dookie sessions? Anyways, Zombie roars back through the mirror and starts attacking them along with another zombie. One of the remaining flight attendants tries to help the men, resulting in her getting bitten also. Better sit here and scream instead of getting away from the threat. The last flight attendant calls Captain Retiring Pilot and tells him of the attacks. They continue to play a game of whodunit, still blaming the escaped prisoner, even though numerous people have now seen the cannibalistic bloodied zombies. The flight attendant who was attacked earlier wakes up miraculously next to the co-pilot as he is trying to bolt down the cargo door and roars before attacking him and another passenger. A zombie just rips through the floor of the plane and pulls a guy into his hole. These zombies are apparently able to tell where people are through floors and walls with ease and have the strength to achieve this feat. I can't wait for that to be omitted later. Dr. Bennett finally starts freaking out. It took him this long to be worried. I mean, you already have zombies running around. Why'd it take this long? A golf pro whacks zombie flight attendant with a golf club. This was apparently a vacation where he was not supposed to focus on golf because his wife was telling him so, yet he had a full golf bag as his carry-on. Is a golf club even allowed as carry-on in the first place? The zombies start climbing through the floor like they are rising from their graves. That dumbass stunt where they're able to poke through the floor of an airplane was just so they could have this visual thing just for that. And for some reason, the effects and film quality here dropped to goosebumps level of just low frames and shakiness. Zombie flight attendant wakes up again and starts pterodactyl screaming. I'd like to remind you, we are more than halfway past the total runtime of the movie, and this is what we are getting. This is the payoff. Bill, cop, and TSA guy start shooting. They are on a plane. One stray bullet and boom, decompression, and you're all more than screwed. Some of the survivors go into a vent with Dr. Bennett to try and escape. How are these vents so accessible and usable like this? In a plane! A guy tries to help a woman escape the zombies, but gets himself pulled into a hole with the zombies. Is this just a zombie jack-in-the-box at this point? One attendant slowly approaches her obviously turned coworker. Why approach a bloodied person that is kind of convulsing when you know what is going on now? It tries to attack her, but it is thwarted by the escaped prisoner who hits her in the head with a fire extinguisher, used in case of emergency. A zombie wakes up and starts making the Hannibal Lecter noise. We cut to the Pentagon for more exposition. The zombie virus has no cure or vaccine possible, transfers only through bodily fluids, and Dr. Bennett was actually developing it with intent to use it for a bioweapon. He believed it would keep soldiers fighting after being mortally wounded, and he wanted to release captive enemies infected with the virus to infect and kill enemies until they kill each other. Every zombie movie ever loves this as the basis for their twisted intention twist. But man, I am sick of it as the basis for a zombie outbreak. The Pentagon makes a plan to destroy the plane before it can land and reach the population. But one guy doesn't want to kill innocent civilians. The only chance to contain the virus is to kill all living beings on the flight. A plot with the Pentagon involved in an American passenger plane. Why does that sound familiar? The nun tries to help a dying person. Her reward from God? She gets her legs pulled off by zombies. Apparently, she had kung fu grip to be able to hold on to the chairs long enough for her lower half to get ripped off.
But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
The zombies make ridiculous sounds, and for some reason, now some of them have contacts from the Twilight movies. Dr. Bennett tells some of the survivors that he was just following orders by developing the virus and thought it was just an experiment to try to extend lives. And he didn't know it would have these crazy side effects, which we now know is complete bullshit. You barely secured your cryo wife in a closed space, but sure. People are running around the airplane cabin aimlessly while zombies chase them. A lady manages to fall onto the only zombie who was stuck to his seat via his seat belt. How about steer clear of the frantically flailing sitting deadite? Zombies have the ingenuity to travel through ducts strategically. How? I swear to God, this is the plane level of Among Us at this point. The co-pilot is able to get away thanks to the captain retiring pilot opening the cockpit doors to let him in, shutting the door just in the nick of time just before a zombie can get in cliche. Wait a minute, no, the co-pilot turns and needs his ass anyways. The TSA guy says to shoot the zombies twice in the chest and once in the balls. Yes, I said that verbatim. What is the TSA teaching their agents to do this kind of shit? Also, they know what zombies are at this point, and they're saying to shoot the chest and balls, but not the head? The cop is still worried about catching the prisoner despite the more pressing matter of zombies on a plane. The zombies now sound like pigs mixed with horses. Seriously, what the hell are these zombie sounds? The prisoner and cop have a lover's spat while shooting at zombies. Maybe you should focus on the undead threat. Peter's girlfriend tackles and bites Tony before making a cat hiss and devouring him. Tony's girlfriend just stands there watching this and screaming, which gets her attacked by Peter. No one on this airplane has any kind of survival instinct. They kind of just sit there and wait to die. One of the survivors in the vent falls and goes through the ceiling of the airplane, becoming a zombie threat. How is this passenger aircraft intended for international flights so multi-tiered and hollow on the inside that zombies can freely crawl up through the floor and fall through the plane with such ease? The prisoner decides to pull some wires from a panel in the roof thinking he can use them to electrocute zombies, and he has some shocking results.
I guess I could have gone better.
The plane is already in dire straits. Why are you pulling random wires, barehanded mind you, to try and electrocute zombies? That is the stupidest thing I've seen in a zombie movie in quite a while. Did a 5-year-old write this? A zombie jump scares the audience and is shot by the cop, making it fall backwards and into the floor hole, which was honestly kind of funny. Dr. Bennett falls through the vent and the zombie gray floor hole, so he falls through 2 floors, and he gets final destinationed as he is hung by loose wires and cables to get torn into like a zombie piñata by the horde in the cargo area. It's a cool set piece and probably the best thing this movie did, but I mean, for him to just fall casually through shoddy airplane design, really? The cop makes the decision to go back down into the cargo area to try and retrieve the guard's weapon so the survivors can use it to secure the cockpit. Don't they have guns and weapons already? The cop is able to MacGyver a bomb out of a mini propane tank, electrical tape, a spoon, and a few other items. You can make veritable pipe bombs on an airplane, but the other guy is the prisoner here. Also, how is there propane aboard an international flight in the first place? My boy Hank Hill had his propane confiscated on Thanksgiving, so this would not happen. International customs would have confiscated that so quick. The cop drops his homemade bomb into the cargo hold and ignites it. Are you effing stupid? You're on an airplane! It would just blow a hole into the cargo hold. It would tear open the cabin, have you all flying out like Final Destination 1. The cop goes into the cargo area alone and manages to get the guard's gun. Why would you go alone when there's tons of zombies running around? That is how all this shit started in the first place, by someone going alone into the cargo pit. TSA guy, golf pro, the prisoner, and the cop head to the cockpit, leaving the 2 women survivors that cannot do anything for themselves at the back of the airplane. Separating your people always works out. A few of the zombies are just sitting in the cabin, just straight chilling before the survivors walked by. Wouldn't they have been more active prior? Why are they not running around trying to find a new meal? Golf pro beheads a Zambo in 1 hit with his golf club. What a champ. -1 sin, and that's the only minus we get. The golf pro tries to punch a zombie and gets bit. You know that zombie bites infect you. Why would you stick your fist straight into the mouth of one of these undead? The zombie, formerly known as Peter's girlfriend, tries to attack the golf pro and his wife, but is taken out by a makeshift flamethrower. First propane, now this. The TSA and International Customs did a terrible job of looking through these people's carry-on bags. Golf Pro and his wife, both now infected, get cornered by the horde. So Golf Pro opens the emergency door of the plane. Golf Pro, his wife, and the horde are sucked out of the plane into a nightmarish CGI sky, where zombie Dr. Bennett is pulled into the engine of the wing of the plane. The scale for this engine fluctuates so much in just a few seconds. At one point, the zombie takes up half of the engine, and then right after, he takes up only 10% of it. What is the size of this zombie or engine? Make up your mind. An elderly zombie attacks the prisoner, but she has no teeth, so can't bite him. That is a pretty good gag for a zombie. You know what? We'll minus another cent. The cop and prisoner get into the cockpit and have another argument. Can you guys kiss and make up? Y'all got more important issues. A military jet shows up and shoots a missile at the airplane. They have enough time to scramble and listen to the computer say a collision is imminent. Apparently, military missiles take this long to hit their marks. After firing, the pilot of the military jet notices there are live civilians on the plane, but it is too late. Of course, there is going to be some live civilians on the plane. This should be assumed already. The missile hits the plane, ripping a giant hole in this aircraft. I want to remind you that this is the exact same plane that was fine after being riddled with bullets and having a bomb go off inside of it. Zombies are just flying around in the air looking hilariously bad. I mean, look at him go, look at him fly. But the zombie that could not unbuckle his seat earlier is flying and smashes into the military jet, causing it to blow up. Honestly, it's so stupid that it is amazing. Good lord. The zombie airplane crash lands in the desert through the CGI that looked a bit like Mars for some reason. Were they going to Mars? I guess this was a SpaceX flight. The remaining survivors all make it out alive and apparently unscathed. Just some minor limping. Okay, sure. The zombies of the outbreak on the plane somehow also survived being sucked out of the plane and falling back to the ground. Zombie Dr. B, aka Zombie, survived being ripped in half and now is hobbling around on his arms with no lower torso.
'Tis but a scratch.
I guess this is where the makeup budget went. Must have been really proud of that expenditure because that's just about it. Not only that, but they see a nearby city and start walking towards civilization, because why not tease a sequel to this flying shit show? Well, I guess walking shit show at this point. The movie just ends abruptly with zombie Dr. B jump scaring and doing a weird scream at the camera. This was obviously made to be bad and be a horror comedy, but damn, is shit inconsistent and the characters all fluff and no substance. Also, most of the shit involving the plane and everything around it was just asinine. This is not something I want to go back to. It was just stupid all the way through. The zombies don't make sense. The survivors were just hollow and make stupid decisions left and right. So you know what? We're gonna smack another 20 sins and call it a day.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video.